Hello, Live Chat family. Welcome back to another edition of Live Chat with Nomvula, and this is one of our rooftop thoughts. So, this is more of a personal experience, right? So let's say this is a testimony, né? But also a lesson from something that happened to me. So a while ago, I went through a phase where I was just having conflicts with people, and over the period, I remember talking to one of my confidants about the things that were happening, and it's amazing how when there's pressure and when there is fights going on, we find ourselves wanting to be right, wanting to make sure that we are safe because we have to protect our hearts. What's that word that we like saying? No, we are protecting our space, right? So, and with all of that, I mean, there were a lot of back and forths. You do this to me, I do this to you. You do this to me, I do this to you. It was a lot and it was messy. And there came a time when I actually sat down, thought about what was happening, and I prayed about it, and then I thought it's over. And lo and behold, most of the time when you think the fight is over, it starts all over again, right? So the other party decided, I'm going for her again. And they came for me with everything. And I remember this one time, I was distraught, and I was talking to a pastor friend of mine over the phone and just telling him everything that was going on. And they just kept quiet and said, but Nomvula, how long are you going to be in this retaliation phase? How long are you going to entertain this person? How long are you going to let this upset you? And I didn't take them serious. And he said to me, can you not actually see that God is fighting for you behind the scene? Can you not see how God is working behind the scene in this whole mess that you are in? Can you not see the small elements of God's hand on your life? Because this situation, it could have been 10 times worse. So I took what he said and I thought about it, and I was like, you know what? This is the time where I'm going to be at peace and I'm going to forgive this person. And Lord, help me to forgive. And I have to highlight that I didn't even get an apology first for me to forgive. I took a stand and I said, this is where this war ends now. I am tired of the bitterness. I'm tired of the provocations. I'm tired of all this mess that I find myself in. And the sad thing about it is that you just keep getting spiraled, in this whole thing. So I was like, I'm tired of it. And I remember one day, just after praying and just in a silent mode, I just had this thought that, sometimes when we want to fight things our own way, it's like we want to go to the person's closet and say, oh, you are fighting me with bad words. Let me take some, because it's not your thing. So you go take a few of the bad words, you use them against them. You take whatever instruments, whatever weapons that you have that they are also using, and you use against them, forgetting that when you are a different person. But because of the heat of the situation, and because how about and how about somebody you want to step up. So I was in this thing for a long time, for years, there'd just be those episodes and all of that. Until that particular moment, I remember I went into my prayer closet and I prayed and I said, Lord, as of this moment, I do not have a grudge against that person. I forgive them and it ends here. Huh? Then I made sure that, you know what, I don't want anybody informing me about this person's life or anything like that. I'm good. And I made sure that people knew that, listen, in my presence, you don't talk about this person, because I don't want to get into that mode of talking and all of that stuff. It's just toxic for me. So, and I made everybody aware, and look here, we came to a point whereby that name was hardly mentioned in my presence. Okay, cool. Then time went on, and out of the blue, we chilling, and somebody complains, hey, this person did this and this and this, and I'm like, Aibo, what are you talking about? So now there were events that were happening, but they were happening to other people, and I was not involved anymore. And because I had gotten to a place of being at peace, I was able to help other people about the situation, saying, you know what, let it go, deal with it this way, find common ground and all of that. And now I could think with some cool. I had my cool, so I could think clearly. So what am I saying? Why are you going, Nomvula, with all this drama that you're talking about? What I'm saying is, sometimes we think that God needs our anger and bitterness for him to fight for us. We think he needs our opinion, and we don't even hear what he wants us to do with those situations, because we are so full of ourselves at those moments, and we want our names to be known, and we want our voices to be heard. And we think that our bitterness and our drama will expose the next person or will expose the situation. And many times it doesn't even do that. And the reason why I said, what happens to you when the war is over? Because I've realized that sometimes when we don't realize that, listen here, the fighting phase is over, we find ourselves so bitter that people can hardly be around us. We find ourselves being very toxic. And at times, what I really, really hate about our society and our circle sometimes is that because we don't want to let go of certain issues, then we want people that are next to us to inherit our beef, which is really not fair. So I remember in one of the moments that I had with God, I just thought of myself and said to myself, you know, rata we nyatsisa, as in we like to degrade ourselves from the position where God has put us, and to degrade ourselves to what the war or what the battle or what the other person's intentions want us to be. So my advice to us is forgive when it's time to forgive. And yes, it might not be overnight. And this does not mean that you're not going to remember anything that the person did to you. Forgive them. And I would even say take it to the next extent of even telling them that you forgive them. And they don't even have to say they are sorry. They don't even have to say anything about the situation. They don't even have to acknowledge that they are wrong. They don't have to do that. But on your part, forgive. I've seen how many times with particularly Rona females, you know, where someone has not forgiven someone for something else, the drama just lingers on and on and on and on and on. Somebody mentions that person's name and yay, your whole afternoon is ruined. Forgive them. If you have to, let them know that you forgive them and walk the journey of healing. Because sometimes we cannot forgive because we continuously remember the pain that we went through. And the last thing that I want to say is, many times the reason why we fail to forgive is simply because we hold on to our right to play back those events in our heads. And you don't have to traumatize yourself like that. If someone did something terrible to you, you don't always have to play it back so that you take yourself to those emotions when you were saddened, when you were frustrated, when you were humiliated, and whatever else that they put you through. Forgive them, but remember mostly that God does not need your drama. God does not need your unforgiveness. God does not need your bitterness to deal with your enemies in any shape or form. I mean, enemies come in any shape or form, but he does not need you to lower yourself, to degrade yourself for him to deal with it. And you know, the amazing part of it is that most of the time when God deals with the enemy, he deals with it without you even recognizing. And then later on, you're going to be like, yo, really? Did these things really turn out like this? Because I remember with me, really, this person that was pursuing me so much, it ended up being an own goal. Because everything that they were doing to me, they did 10 times, even 100 times to other people. And now I didn't have to run after everyone and say, Labon, Kilijwetzit. Everybody now saw that, okay, well, this is really how, the situation is. So don't even try to go around telling people that, hey, limoboni, all of that. It's unnecessary, guys. Take your peace, walk on. God has greater things for you that are in store for you in your future. And most of the time, when we hold on to bitterness and unforgiveness, we close the next phases of our lives. We close the next doors. We can't even go to the next step. Sometimes you find that you can't relate to other people because they are associated with that particular person. And the longer you hold on to that, you find that you deprive yourself of the blessing that you would have had in your associations with those particular people. So don't expect people to inherit your beef, and forgive. Stop being dramatic. Let go of the anxiety. Let go of whatever it is. And lastly, even if they don't ask for forgiveness, you just let it go. So once again, what happens to you when the war is over? Are you still fighting, or are you at peace? This is Live Chat with Nomvula, and these are Rooftop